Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Maths with Eve YouTube channel. Today I will upload marking scheme for November 2024, Maths paper 2. It is a summary or a quick review of the whole question paper. I have allocated marks awarded for each question and you will see all the answers from number 1 to number 12, including the graphs and locus in construction. June 2025 candidates, contact me on 0776 824159 if you want to start freshly with others on 1 November. So the first question was saying, find the highest common factor of 96 and 120. So what we are going to do is that we express 96 and 120 as product of their prime factors, and then we are going to cancel the common factors that are both in 96 and 120. We multiply all those common factors in order to get our highest common factor is 24. And then on part B, it is saying on a certain day the temperature rose from -5 degrees Celsius to positive 27 degrees Celsius. Calculate the rise in temperature. So temperature rise, we are going to say final minus initial reading, which is equal to 27 minus -5 in order to get 32 degrees Celsius. And then the next question, it was on standard form. We are supposed to multiply R and Q. So if we multiply, we are going to get 2.94 times 10 to the power of 3. You need to make sure that the standard form value ranges from 1 to 9. And then the last question on number 1, it was on SAIDS 3 root 7 plus root 14 times root 2. We apply BODMAS. It implies that we need to multiply first before we do the addition. So we say root 14 times root 2 in order to get root 28. And then we simplify that, said it is going to be 2 root 7. We can now add, since the numbers that are inside the roots are the same. So we say 3 root 7 plus 2 root 7 in order to get our final answer is 5 root 7. And then 2a, it was saying write down the order of matrix 2H. It is a 1 row by 2 column matrix. And then on part B, it is saying evaluate A minus half B. We're going to first multiply matrix B by the scalar half, and then we do the subtraction in order to get 2 minus 8. And then the next question, it is requiring us to multiply matrix A and matrix B. So it is a 2 by 2 column matrix. The answer is also going to be a 2 by 2 column matrix, right? So we say the first row times the first column in the second matrix, and then the first row in the first matrix times the second column in the second matrix, right? And then we then say the second row in the first matrix times the first row in the second column matrix, right? So that our answer is going to be 30 minus 20 minus 48 50. And then the next question, it was saying the matrix x minus 1 2 6x plus 3 is singular. Form an equation in x and show that it reduces to x squared plus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. So you need to know that a singular matrix, it is determinant of 0. So if we say AD minus BC, we are going to get 0. We do our expansion so that we add the like terms for us to have x squared plus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. And then next part, it is requiring us to solve that equation. So we are going to first factorize, and then we are going to get x plus 5 times x minus 3, and then we say either x plus 5 is equal to 0, it implies that x is equal to negative 5, or x minus 3 is equal to 0, it implies that x is equal to 3. So the answers are going to be x is equal to minus 5 or 3. And then number 3, it was a question on consumer arithmetic. The selling price of a certain model of mobile phone is 2,760, including value added tax of 15%. So calculate the price of mobile phone excluding value added tax. So we are going to consider the original price before we add the VAT as 100%. And then we add that 15% to 100 for us to get 115. And we say 115% is equivalent of 2,760. What about 100%? It is going to be less. So we say 100 over 115 times 2,760 in order to get our answer is 2,400. And then on part 2, the exchange rate of Zimbabwean dollar to Botswana pula on a certain day was ZWL $9 to 1 pula. Find the cost of the mobile phone in pula. So the exchange rate is ZWL9 is equal to 1 pula. So the equivalent of 2,760, it is going to be having more pula. So we say 2,760 over 9 times 1 in order to get 307 pula, correct to 3 significant figures. If degree of accuracy is not specified, we round correct to 3 significant figures. And then part 3, a salesperson is paid 3.5% commission for each same model of mobile phone sold. Calculate the total commission the salesperson gets when 23 such mobile phones are sold. So we first need to calculate a commission for one phone. It is going to be 3.5% of 2,760. And then we get $96.60. And then commission for 23 phones, we are going to say 96.6 times 23 in order to get 2,221.80. And then part B, it was a question on electricity consumption. Calculate the cost of 375 units bought by a household. So here, the first 50 units, they cost $2.25 dollars per kilowatt hour, right? So the cost of the second 50 units, it is $4.51 times 50. The third is 200 times $11.26, and then the third is 75 units times $12.94. We then sum everything in order to get our answer is $3,560.50. That was all about number 3. And then number 4, there was a question on menstruation. The length of arc BCD. BCD is a semicircle, so we are going to say it is half times 2 pi r, because the length of a circle, perimeter of circle, is 2 pi r, but in this case it is half circle. So we say half times 2 times pi times r, and we substitute 3.142 on our pi. Our radius is 31.8 meters. So we are going to get 99.9156 meters. And then part 2, the perimeter of the athletics field. It is the distance around the athletics field, right? We are going to say the length of 2 arcs, right, plus 100 at the top plus 100 at the bottom in order to get 399.8312 meters. And then part 3, total area of athletics field to the nearest square meter. So the total area, we are going to consider the 2 semicircles and also the rectangle. So we say 2 times half pi r squared times length times width, right? And we are given that our radius is 31.8. It implies that BD, it is going to be 31.8 times 2 for us to get that 63.6. And then we add in order to get 9,537 correct to the nearest square meter. And then part 4, the cost of covering the whole athletics field with grass. If it costs $600, $620 per square meter. So here again, we just need to apply proportion. If 1 square meter is equal to 620, what about 9,537? It is going to be more. So we say 9,537 times 620 in order to get $5,912,940. And then part B was a question on simple math problems. We're supposed to find the scale used to draw athletics field in the form 1:n, where n is an integer. So on a map, AB is being represented by a line 4 centimeters, of which AB it is equal to 100 meters, right? So we are saying 4 centimeters is representing 100 meters, and then we convert 100 meters to centimeters, it is going to be 10,000 centimeters. And then we divide both sides by 4 so that our ratio of length is going to be 1:2,500. So that was all about number 4. And then number 5, there was a question on locus and construction. It was saying construct a triangle ABC in which BC is equal to 10.5 centimeters, ABC is equal to 90 degrees, and BCAE is equal to 30. So first we need to measure 10.5 centimeters. We label correctly our B and C and also the 10.5 centimeters. And then after that we construct our 90 degrees from B, and then from C we construct 60 degrees. We then construct angle bisector of 60 in order to get 30. We then join C till it reaches the vertical line from B. That is going to be our triangle ABC. And then the locus of points equidistant from AB and AC. We construct an angle bisector 3 centimeters from BC. We construct 2 parallel lines. Measure and write down the length of AB. It is equal to 6 centimeters. And then a point R is inside the triangle nearer to AB. So it is divided by that angle bisector that is originating from A. So it is supposed to be nearer AB than AC. And also it is supposed to be less than 3 centimeters from BC. So it is going to be within the parallel line. So that was all about number 5. Let us move on to section B. Section B, it was first question, it was on factorization. A squared plus ay minus ax minus xy. It is going to be x plus y, a minus x. And then part 2, it is a difference between 2 squares. So we are going to say xy minus 3, xy plus 3, because we are just finding the square root of x squared, y squared, which is xy, and also square root of 9, which is 3. We open 2 brackets, and then we need to put a negative and a positive sign. Then part B, we want to find the value of x, of which the perimeter of hexagon is 15 centimeters. We are given that the length of each side is 3x minus 5 over 2. So we are going to say 3x minus 5 over 2 times 6 is equal to 15. We divide both sides by 6, and then we do the cross multiplication so that our x is going to be 3 1/3. Here we are supposed to write it is 3 1/3 centimeters, right? And then on part C, it was a question on substitution. We need to substitute correctly in order to get 577.5. And then the next one, it was a question on subject or formula. So to make out the subject or formula, we first need to divide both sides by kh, and then we multiply both sides by to the power of half, so that our r is going to be square root of v over kh. So that was all about number 6. let us proceed to number 7. Number 7, it was a question on velocity time graph. First, we are supposed to calculate the value of m. This part requires you to substitute correctly on m. To find m, we are going to substitute 5 on t, right? So that we get our m is 10 meters per second. And then using a scale of 2 centimeters to represent 1 unit on the t-axis and 2 centimeters to represent 2 units on the v-axis, draw the graph of v is equal to t squared minus 5t plus t. So make sure that you follow the scale, you label correctly the axis. Y is going to be velocity and time is going to be in the x-axis. You plot all the points and you join them. Try by all means to draw a smooth curve that is going to join all the points, and also make sure that you label correctly, and then use the graph to find the minimum velocity. We are having our turning point. We need to find the y coordinate that is in line with the turning point. I managed to get 3.8 is the minimum velocity, and then acceleration at t is equal to 1. We just need to draw our tangent that is in line with 1, and we find the gradient of that tangent and managed to get negative 2.2 meters per second squared. And then next part, range of values of t when velocity was less than 7 meters per second. So what you need to do is that you move on to your graph, you draw a broken line that is in line with 7 meters per second, right? And then you draw the vertical lines that are going to touch the horizontal axis. You look for the values that are aligning with those vertical lines. So it means that the range is going to be 0.7 seconds to 4.3 seconds. And then finally, the distance traveled by the particle from t is equal to 2 to t is equal to 4. So kindly correct, guys. In the previous tutorial, I marked the positions that was above the graph, but I've managed to correct that section. We're supposed to find the area that is under the graph, the area that is being bounded by the curve. The t is equal to 2 and t is equal to 4, and also the x-axis. So here I've used the counting of box method. Can you see that we are having 3 complete squares, of which 1 square it is equal to 2 meters, because we say length times width, 2 times 1 in order to get 2. So it means the complete boxes, they are 3. If we say 3 times 2, we are going to get 6 meters. And then we need to count the boxes at A. I counted them and they were 50. So I said 50 over 100 times 2 meters in order to get 1 meter. And then on the section that is marked B, I said 93 over 100 times 2 meters, and I obtained 1.86 meters. And then I add all 6 meters plus 1 plus 1.86 in order to get total distance of 8.86 meters. So that was all about number 7 on functional graph. The next question, it was on statistics. The first part was requiring us to draw a frequency polygon for the distribution. So that is the frequency polygon. When you are plotting a frequency polygon, you're supposed to plot the midpoints of the marks. The frequency is going to be in the y-axis, and then the marks, they are going to be in the x-axis. And then you plot the midpoints that are in line with the frequency. You then join all the points using a ruler. The graph that you are going to get is known as frequency polygon. And you label x-axis is representing marks, y-axis is representing the number of learners. Model class is the one with the highest frequency, which is 30 to 40. Estimate of the mean, we say summation of midpoints times frequency over the total number of learners, we get 28.4 marks. And then the class interval in which the median mark is found, it is going to be 20 to 30, because what we need to do is we are having a total of 100 learners. So we say 100 plus 1 divided by 2, we get 50.5. Then we need to see where we are going to locate that 50.5. It is going to be in that category 20 to 30, because if we say 7 plus 30, we get 20 plus 31, we get 51. So 50.5 is in 20 to 30 category. And then part E, one learner is picked at random from the class. Find the probability that the learner's mark is greater than or equal to 10 but less than 40. So here, more than mark is greater than or equal to 10, right? So we are going to take 13, 31, 37. We add those frequencies together in order to get 81. It is 81 over 100, and we are going to write 81 over 100, or we are going to write it as a decimal. It is going to be 0.81. So that was all about number 8. Number 9 was a question on linear programming. So that one, the first part, it is requiring us to show that we are having 2y plus 3x is less than or equal to 72. So we are given that each skate requires 0.5 meters. So we say 0.5 times y, because skates are being represented by y, and also 0.7 times x, which is representing the trousers. This is supposed to be less than or equal to 18. So we then multiply all the terms by the lowest common multiple of the denominator, which is 4. So on first part, if we say half times 4, we get 2y, and then 3/4 times 4, we get 3x, 18 times 4, we get 72. That is how we managed to reduce it. In the next part, to meet the demand of customers, the dressmaker should make at least 6 pairs of trousers and at least 10 skirts. So when it is at least, we say greater than or equal to. So y is supposed to be greater than or equal to 10, and x is supposed to be greater than or equal to 6. And then part C, the number of skirts should be more than the number of trousers. So y is supposed to be strictly greater than x. And then we move on to part D. It is requiring us to plot those inequalities on the graph. Make sure that you follow the scale. You first ignore the inequality sign, you replace them with the equal sign. So the region that is shaded is going to determine how our inequality was, right? And then part E, each skirt makes a profit of 120, and each pair of trousers make a profit of 300. So it means that if one pair of trousers, which means two pairs, one pair of trousers, it means 2 trousers, right? 2 trousers cost $300, so 1 trousers cost $150. So we are going to try the corner points of the wanted region and do our comparison, so that the maximum profit is going to be 4,020. The next question, it was on transformation. It was saying draw and label triangle ABC. You need to follow the scale that is being provided, and you plot correctly, you label correctly that this one is ABC. Next, part B, in order to draw triangle A1, B1, C1, you need to understand that image is equal to translation vector plus object. So we are going to add the translation vector to all the coordinates of the object. The answers that we are going to obtain, we use them to plot A1, B1, C1. And then part C, draw the line y is equal to x plus 2. You create a table of values, and then you plot the points that you are going to get on that table of values, you label correctly, and then describe, draw and label triangle A2, B2, C2. You just need to measure equal distances from the object to the mirror line. It's supposed to be the equal distance from the mirror line to the image. And then part D, a transformation is represented by matrix 1, 0, minus 2, half, 1, maps triangle ABC onto triangle A3, B3, C3. Draw and label A3, B3, C3, right? You just need to do multiplication. You pre-multiply the coordinates of object by that matrix. The answers that you are going to get, you use them to plot A3, B3, C3. And then when we are now describing, we state that here is occupied. The y-axis is the invariant line because the y-coordinates, they are not changing. So it means that y-axis is the invariant line and the shear factor is minus 2.5. So that was all about number 10. Number 11 was a question on vectors. First part was requiring candidates to find RQ. So in order to find RQ, we are going to say RQ. We are going to say our RQ, it is the opposite of PS, right? So our RQ, it is going to be minus B, right? And then we move on to the next question. QS is going to be QP plus PS, which is minus A plus B. PM, we are moving from P to M, we say PS plus SM, which is B plus half A. PR, it is PS plus SR, which is B plus A. And then on B part 1, we first need to calculate QN. We are going to say QN is equal to K QS, which is K times B minus A. We expand in order to get KB minus KA. And then vector PN, it is now PQ plus QN. We shift that minus KA to be nearer A, and we factorize the first pair so that A is going to be factored out. We now have 1 minus K times A plus KB. And then part 2, if PN is equal to HPM, express PM in terms of H, right? So we're just supposed to multiply PM by H in order to get HB plus half HA. And then on part 3, use the results from B1 and B2 to find the values of H and K. So here, what we are going to do is we write B1 and B2 expressions, and then we take all the terms that are having B, we divide by B, so that we now have K is equal to H. That is going to be our equation 1. We take the expressions with A, we divide all the terms by A, so that we now have 1 minus K is equal to half H. And then we substitute K by H. Since K is equal to H, we simplify in order to get our H as 2/3 and our K as 2/3. And then last part, write down numerical value of MN, NP. So from M to N, it is MR plus RQ plus QN. We substitute correctly in order to get our MN as minus 3B minus 1/6A. And our NP, it is, we are having PN. So if it is now NP, we have changed the direction. It is now minus HB minus half HA. And then we need to find the relationship between MN and NP. If you multiply MN by 2, we are going to get NP. So it means that MN is to NP, it is 1:2. So when we are now writing, we say MN over NP is equal to 1/2. So that was all about the vectors. And then let us now move on to the final question. It was a question on circle geometry. To find QRS, we say 180 minus 65, we get 115, because opposite angles of cyclic quad sums to 180. And then reflex QOC, we are going to get 230, because we say angle at the center is twice angle at the circumference. And then OQR, we say 100 minus 40, because exterior angle of cyclic quadrilateral is equal to opposite interior angle. And then for PSO, we are going to say 360 minus 40 plus 230 plus 65 to get 25. Why? Because angles in a quadrilateral sums to 360. And then part B, state the name given to the region enclosed by code PQ and minor arc. It is known as minor segment. And then the interior angle of polygon are in the ratio 2:3:4:5:6. State the name of the polygon. It is pentagon. Size of the largest angle. You first need to find the sum of interior angles of pentagon. It is 180 times 5 minus 3 in brackets in order to get 540. And then the largest angle, you then say 6 over total, which is 20, times 540 in order to get 162. So this marks the end of our tutorial today on the marking scheme of November 2024 maths paper 2. Thank you so much, guys, for following me on this channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share my videos. I love you all. This is Eve signing out.